Once occupied by distinct native groups, this land has been invaded by the Incas, the Spanish and the British. Immigrants from many parts of Europe have made it their home. And just to mention its name conjures up images of Evita, the tango, and solitary gauchos pursuing half-wild cattle across the vast expanses of the Pampa. But the fascinating reality is of breathtaking immenseness and extreme contrasts. From penguins and whales to ostriches and guanacos to flamingos and condors, there's an incredible variety of marine and wildlife. Giant cactus plants dot the landscape. Mountain ranges are topped with snow, and living glaciers move slowly into milky blue-green lakes. Strangely sculptured rock formations and steep canyons with 6,000-year-old petroglyphs. The 8th largest country in the world springs to life in the northern subtropical forests, only to disappear among the ice and endless winds of the Antarctic. Between these two extremes lies Argentina. Its geography is a catalogue of superlatives. The rocky spine of the Andes reaches from north of the equator almost to Antarctica. Archaeologists believe that the first inhabitants crossed the Bering Strait to the Americas over 20,000 years ago and reached the southern tip of South America by 9000 BC. When the Spaniards arrived at the beginning of the 16th century in search of silver, there were over 300,000 Indians living in what is now Argentina. The Spanish conquerors found no gold or silver, and until 1713 they administered the country from Lima, the capital of Peru. With Napoleon's invasion of Spain in 1808, the independence movement gained momentum, and Argentina was the first colony of the Spanish Empire to attain freedom. General José de San Martín liberated Argentina from the South American viceroyalties, and Juan Manuel de Rosas forged a federalist coalition and ruled much of Argentina as his personal domain for over 20 years. In modern times, it is the ideology and presidency of Juan Domingo Perón that is remembered, followed by a succession of military juntas and a surprising return to the democratic process in 1983. Through most of this, the waves of European immigrants that had started in the late 1800s continued to roll in. Spaniards and Italians fleeing from poverty were joined by others from Russia, Britain, Scandinavia, even Syria and Armenia. Amid adverse conditions, Argentina was colonized, its vast forests exploited, roads, some straight for hundreds of miles, were built, and an impressive railway network was constructed. All Argentina is centered on Buenos Aires, and everything begins and ends here. Many credit Amerigo Vespucci with the discovery of the Rio de la Plata, but standard Argentine accounts cite Juan de Solís as the first European to sail these waters. Under the able architectural influence of Charles V of Spain, the foundations of the city can more properly be credited to Mendoza and Garay in the early 1500s. As Buenos Aires presumed to become the capital of the country, there was an understandable element of conflict between the city and the Argentine interior. However, Buenos Aires soon confirmed the Argentinians' predilection for urban life. Today it is a city of contrasting and beautiful architecture. And the residents, Los Porteños, have a unique character. And everything begins and ends here.
Una sombra lo mismo que yo. Desde que se fue, triste vivo yo, caminito digo, yo también me voy. Desde que se fue, cada volvió, seguiré sus pasos, caminito a Dios, caminito.
The Porteños of Buenos Aires and Argentinians in general pride themselves on their sophistication. But it is the unsophisticated and natural beauty of the country that will forever remain uppermost in my mind. Argentina is a paradise for wildlife lovers, bird watchers, mountain climbers, skiers, gemologists, rockhounds, and amateur archaeologists. But travel within Argentina, outside of Buenos Aires, can best be described as an adventure and is not for the pampered tourist expecting comfort and luxury. The British legacy has been a transportation system that uses Buenos Aires as the hub of a wheel, and travel from one region to another can be very time-consuming. Because of its ecological diversity, the country has the potential to be the world's next greatest tourism destination. But in rising to the challenge of a tourism infrastructure of quality hotels, better roads, and a faster means of domestic transportation, the greater challenge will be to ensure that the natural beauty of the country remains unspoiled. For more information, visit our website on topoftheworld.net.